Jerry, what are you trying to say? Sit, Jerry, sit.
Nada, muy bien, muy bien.
Sits.
Rango, sits, sits. Rango, Rango, Lucy, Lucy, Lucy. Muy bien.
As Jerry, sits, sits. Yeah, muy bien, vamos, muy bien. Good morning. So yesterday I was talking about how pretty much everything's a lie. And I said there's a lot of things I don't even tell people yet that I've found out. But I think it's great. Like, I kind of wonder if this is like just a big video game, you're supposed to figure this stuff out. I was kind of wonder too if I'm even supposed to be telling you this stuff, because maybe you're supposed to find it out on your own. I don't know. Or maybe it's just really evil kind of stuff, this whole God versus Satan thing. And they said it's in the Bible all over the place that Satan will deceive the world. They'll make the world believe he doesn't exist, blah, blah, blah. So maybe he's doing all this stuff, and I don't know. Whatever. I didn't create the game. I don't think, anyway. I'm just a player. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But, yeah, pretty much everything's a lie. But, you know, it's all this stuff that people really think about or worry about. Buenos dias. Jerry, yeah. Jerry. Jerry. If people worry too much about everything, it's like, oh my gosh, if this isn't real, well, nothing's really real. You can call it what you want. There's all kinds of different names. But it's sort of like just, it's not that real. It's like, it's real. I don't know how to explain this. But it's not that important. Like, people get so wrapped up, oh gosh, you know, what if Abraham Lincoln was a total jerk? not what we were told. Yeah, that's like nothing. It's like so small. Even the bigger stuff isn't that important. Like the moon landing. The so-called moon landing. Even that doesn't matter. What kind of matters, because some of the stuff kind of matters, because if people don't realize what's going on, things are going to get kind of screwed up here. But as far as you personally, does it matter if they went to the moon or not? No, of course not. Does it matter? No. Lucy Ben? No, let her Ben. Let her Ben. Let her. Lucy. Is there the dog? Lucy, yeah. Buenos dias. There's a cute dog down there. Those dogs are really sweet. So many sweet dogs around here. In dangerous Mexico, as you can see, very dangerous. All these neighbors waving at you. Yeah, does it really matter? To you personally? No, of course it doesn't. But does the entire what's going on matter? A little bit. Because, you know, if you have the whole world believing everything, like all this fake stuff, it gets really weird. Especially for those of us who know what's going on. And they're all like, we went to the moon, and they're like, you shut up right now, that's my moon landing. Like, whoa, they're scary. But whatever. It's all just a game as far as I can tell. But yeah, the moon landing, for those that don't know, let's talk about it. This is funny. Like, hilarious. I can't believe anyone fell for it. I fell for it, just so you know. But once I started to look into it, it was like a few hours in, and I was like, wait a sec. First thing, just look at the lunar lander. That's like one of the funniest things you could ever see. Just pull it up, pull up an image of it on the internet. Let's type in lunar lander. It's like made out of curtain rods, tin foil. It's like staples. It's like my kids could probably, given enough time, make a more realistic looking lunar lander. Like, I don't know if they just did it as a total joke, but so anyway, the whole story is, oh man, this goes way back, but the US was basically bankrupt again at the end of the 60s after doing another terrorist attack, a massive one in Asia. Henry Kissinger and all those guys were just, it's because they're still around too, this is crazy, but hopefully Kissinger's gone this year. But they're just bombing hundreds of thousands, millions of people, burning them to death, poisoning them in Asia for no reason. There was absolutely no reason. They're doing it in Cambodia. They said it was a Vietnam War or whatever. They're like, let's go bomb Laos and Cambodia too. While we're over here, we got all these bombs. Yeah, nice, right? Kissinger still walks around and no one's even punched him in the face yet. Lucy, yeah. But so they're bankrupt, and so Nixon was a Mason, just like they all are. And they're like, well, we got to get people's minds off of this. Let's say we go to the moon. Buenos dias. Lucy, ven. Jenny. Jerry's crazy. Jenny, ven. No. Jenny, ven. Jenny. Jenny. Oh, Jenny. So crazy. Jenny, yeah. Ven. So, NASA, which, if you look at the logo, it kind of says Satan. It's an anagram of Satan. It's got like a snake tongue on it. They'll say it's something else. Of course they will. It's actually mostly all Nazi scientists. Basically, NASA is like a military operation. But yeah, back in the 60s, they had never even gone to space at all. Like, the 50s, no one had ever done it, right? And all of a sudden, they're like, well, everyone's freaking out. The US is bankrupt. That's why we have to take it off the gold standard. But we don't want anyone to like notice, so we need a big distraction. Let's say we go to the moon and we played golf on the moon. That's what they did. So, unbelievably, people believed it. Like, that's, even Richard Nixon said, like, he actually said this is a quote from him. American people don't believe anything unless they see it on TV. There you go. So they knew back then, they had them all programmed. So yeah, there it is, it's on TV. Oh yeah. So it's back in the 50s, no one had ever even thought about going to space. And then in the 60s, all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're going to the moon. And they'd never even set up a rocket or anything with like no one on it or anything. And then all of a sudden, within a couple years, they're sending guys up. This is, think about this. This is 50 years ago. No computing power, zero, like nothing. Like, I have more on this phone, like 1,000,000 times more than they had in the entire world back then. And they're just like, yeah, we'll just put like 3 guys on there and just go. So think about it now, right? Like 50 years later, you got Elon Musk, who's a total insider, Masonic welfare whore. He gets all his money from government subsidies. Everyone's so excited. It's like, oh, he sent up a rocket and it went into space and it came back and it landed. It's like, oh wow, back in like 1969, 50 years ago, they sent up guys, like 3 of them, sent them up. They got out of the rocket they're in when they're in space, got into another thing called a lunar lander, took that to the moon, stayed for a while, played golf, drove around on a dune buggy. I live streamed it all. It was, you know, easy back then. Actually, a NASA scientist has come out just recently and said the reason they can't go back to the moon is they lost the technology. He actually said that. You can look it up. This just came out like in the last year or so. And no one asked him, what technology exactly did you lose? They had no technology. Oh man, it's just hilarious. It goes on and on. But anyway, so they get out of the lunar lander, they play golf, they're like live streaming it with their webcams and stuff. They even have like even the lunar lander left, the camera is like panning with it as it goes. So I guess someone stayed on the moon, or anyway, like the whole thing's ridiculous. So then they get back in the lunar lander. Oh, by the way, it's supposedly, if you believe anything from NASA, which I believe zero from NASA. But if you believe anything, they say on the moon, if you're in the shade, it's like minus, I don't know, 500 degrees. If you're in the sun, you're plus 500. And they're in these like little jumpsuits. And yeah, they're fine. And they're fine for days like that. It's like plus 500, minus 500. You'd think something might break. You think they might die, possibly. You might not want to really live stream that the first time, which they did, supposedly. You know, we don't know. They've never been to the moon. No one's ever really been there. No one's even been to outer space. Maybe we shouldn't live stream. What if he gets out and he just dies immediately? Oh, they're pretty sure it'll be fine. It was fine, like they did like a dozen times or something. They're just like keeping everyone occupied. Yeah, we're back on the moon. Yeah, playing golf again, telling some jokes. So then they get back in the lunar lander, take off. They somehow find the rocket again. You know, that's all easy stuff to do. Especially considering they say about the universe that we're flying at like hundreds of thousands of miles an hour, the Earth and the moon, around the sun, and the whole galaxy is flying at hundreds of thousands or millions of miles an hour. So I don't know, the rocket somehow just stays there as they go do all this stuff. I guess it's orbiting around the moon or something with gravity. But then they get back in. Then they go back up to the rocket. They get in that, no problem, easy peasy. And then they fly back to Earth. They do a press conference right away, and all of them look completely ashamed on their very first press conference. They're like, "What's it like on the moon?" They're all like, "It's all right." So I don't know if they even told those guys they weren't going or not. But there was one astronaut back in like the '60s. He said, "There's just no way." He's like, "We can't even communicate between the tower and the rocket when we're on the ground." He said, "How are we going to do this from outer space?" He started bringing up how this is like obviously just not going to work. They killed him. And then there was supposed to be a guy testify, and they killed him. Oh, you didn't hear about this in your schools, in your government indoctrination camps? That's weird. Yeah. It's not in the history books at all? Huh. Strange. It's not like on your, there's no movie made about it or anything? No television programming? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it was sort of a big deal. Anyway, so they go up, they do it like I said, like 10 times or something. Of course, they make all the movies about it, make it all amazing. Tom Hanks. Yeah. USA. It's like unbelievable that anyone falls for it. But there's a lot of people who fall for it. There's a lot of people who just love it. There's some people, they just love space. As even William Shatner said, and this is interesting, you know, the Star Trek guy, he said there's absolutely no difference when it comes to space between science fiction and science. It's all made up. NASA just makes up whatever it wants. William Shatner said that. That's, you know, I'm not saying he's like the most trustworthy person or anything, but you know, he seems to be kind of honest. He talks honestly. That's what he was saying. But some people just really love the idea of space. And I asked those people, why are you so infatuated with this idea? And it is just an idea. It's not even real, what they say. We don't know what's real. I don't know what's real. But it's not what NASA says. Now these people are talking about how they're going to Mars next. Why don't you go back to the moon? It's been like 50 years. I want to just drop by. It's a lot closer than Mars. It was easy to play golf on there 50 years ago. No, because they have to make up something so ridiculous that gets everyone all, it's that old Hitler thing. If you're gonna lie, make it a really big lie. And people believe it. So A lot of people think they're going to Mars. A lot of people already signed up to go. Yeah, it's real. Even Virgin Galactic has been trying to go to space now for decades. They've raised tens of millions of dollars for people who wanted to go to space. They still haven't. In fact, one of their planes, I think, got shot down, or something happened to it anyway. They tried to go to space. They couldn't. No one's gone to space as far as I can tell. The space shuttle was a joke. Even when it blew up, it seems like all those astronauts are still alive. They all have jobs now. They're all working. Most are teachers. No one seems to notice. No one seems scared. Sort of like the Sandy hoax. They have all the kids that were supposedly dead at Sandy Hook singing at the Super Bowl. Like, do people not notice what's actually going on? It's like a big show. It's all lies. But it's fun to watch, you know. I just can't believe anyone falls for it. So yeah, with the outer space stuff, yes, people get really like infatuated with it, right? It's like, why don't you get infatuated with what you know is real? Like right here. Quite a beautiful Earth still. Like they're trying to destroy as much as possible. All these people like NASA with their chemtrails, which they've announced that they're doing to cool the Earth, but it's a depopulation agenda. And just trying to destroy the Earth. They're all satanic at the very top. And they want to destroy humans and destroy the Earth. But people get really infatuated. It's like they got their space posters and they watch Star Trek and Star Wars and oh, I wish I could go to space. And it's like, well, why don't you wish you just live your life here? It's pretty nice, pretty cool actually. No, because they're so, I don't know, unhappy because they've never done anything with their lives. So they got a dream. They gotta like fantasize about things they would do. I would do this in outer space. Why don't you do whatever here? Why don't you do something here? Why don't you get out of your house? Stop watching space movies and watching NASA and thinking that's real. You look like a fool. You look like an idiot. But whatever, I see you with your NASA t-shirts. It's like, whoa, be careful. This person's highly brainwashed. They actually think it's real. It's not real. You still have some of these astronauts still walking around. Buzz Aldrin, who's like a total alcoholic now. And he'll punch people in the face if they say it was fake. Is that what you would do if you went to the moon? Like if you really went to the moon, that'd be pretty fantastic, really. Like that'd be amazing. And to have someone go, I don't think you went. If you really went, you'd be like, that's too bad, I went. It was pretty amazing, man. Looking back on the world, you know, all your problems seem to just go away. You just realize the insignificance of all human suffering, all the small things. You know, you just forget about all that and you just realize the beauty of it all. You wouldn't punch the guy in the face. That happens all the time, all these astronauts. There's like so many videos of people going up to them. Because some people know, a lot of people know. Most of them won't say it in public. Like I get so many emails and messages from people for all the stuff I say. And they're like, thank you for saying it. I can't say it. It's like, say it. Don't be scared. Nothing to be scared of. What are you worried? Worried some people won't like you? Some brainwashed idiots? Who cares? Good. You don't want those people. You don't want to hang around with those people. Yeah, but what if I get fired from my job? Who cares? Well, you want to work for somebody who's like brainwashed idiot? Yeah, but you know, all those worries, I don't know. But space, yeah. So what really happened was they went and played golf on the moon 50 years ago, and then people were like catching on a little bit. You know, they'd bring back moon rocks, they'd give it to a few museums, and some people would go and just check it out a little bit. It'd be like petrified wood. They'd be like, this is petrified wood. You can look it up. And they'd be like, we're not gonna say anything about that. No comment. It's like, hey, what happened to all the tapes? Like, you took all this video and all this stuff and all the photos. NASA lost them in the 1970s, right afterwards. They just lost them all. They're just gone. So bad luck. It's just like it was in a warehouse somewhere and yep, All gone. There's no way to prove anything really now. So people were catching on, so they're like, okay, we got to stop this. So they stopped it for a while. And then people were like, hey, we used to go to the moon all the time. Why don't we do something? And they're like, okay, space shuttle. It's basically an airplane. But it looks just like an airplane. Basically is an airplane. And we'll take it off. I don't know if you ever noticed, but the rockets always goes to when they take off. Every single rocket. You can look up every rocket launch in history. It goes like this, and then it goes like this, and pretty quickly it's going like that. It goes like, I don't know, a few hundred miles, and then starts to crash into the ocean. And they probably have their ships there. For people who really, if you want to do something and risk your life a little bit, find out where they're shooting the rockets and try to be out somewhere near where you think it might land in the ocean, and try to live stream it, because as soon as you get the footage, they'll be trying to kill you. That's just try to get it. But anyway, so the space shuttle takes off. Oh, there it goes. And it's just the same thing with the space shuttle, because it takes off like a rocket. I don't know why, because it's a plane anyway. Well, they say it doesn't have engines, but it does, because you can hear them when it's landing. But all lies. Anyway. Oh man. Yeah, they say it's a glider. No problem. It always hits the target. Like, imagine that if it actually was a glider, one of these times they're just gonna get the wind wrong or something. You're just gonna miss. You're gonna miss the runway. Like, try taking a glider in from like a 3,000 miles away, and you have to land at this one runway. That'd be pretty tough. But no problem every time. And so then they have the space shuttles, and it's kind of funny because 50 years ago they went, what is it, like 300,000 miles to the moon or something, 250,000? They say. I don't believe anything they say. They went and played golf and all that stuff, no problem. Like, never had any problems. It was all like just perfect every single time. And then they stopped, and then they had the space shuttle, and then they went like 400 miles away. They never went further than 400 miles. So ever since the 1970, what was the last one, 1971 or something? Ever since then, they when they used to go like 250,000 miles one way, 250,000, so 500,000 miles round trip. The furthest they've ever gone since then, anyone, according to them, is 400 miles. It's just 400 miles, like not even a few thousand miles. Like, why not even go? No, we just don't do that anymore. We've done that already. So, and we lost the technology anyway, so we can't. Actually, another NASA scientist said, oh, the reason we can't is because of we can't go back is the Van Allen radiation belts. Oh, that wasn't there like 50 years ago? No one asks these questions. Everyone goes to government indoctrination camps. And all the people with their NASA shirts, they don't ask any questions. They're just like pie-eyed and, wow, maybe one day I can be an astronaut and be like a real man. No, you're never going to be a real man. not wearing that NASA shirt, that's for sure. And dreaming about being in outer space. But, yeah, so then the space shuttle thing, and supposedly it crashed, but all the astronauts apparently are still alive. If you look it up, you can go talk to them. They say they're all their twins. They all had twins, apparently. That's what they say. Yeah, you can look this stuff up. This is like, if you spend even a few days looking into this stuff, it's just obvious. And so then people were catching on to that. And they're like, you guys aren't really even going into space. You can just see it. Like when you take off, you're going down after like 50 miles. And so they're like, okay, we got to wrap up the program. And they haven't done anything since. And then people were like questioning. It's like been like 20 years more. Like, why don't you guys do anything anymore? They're like, well, it costs a lot. Yeah, it didn't seem to be a problem, back then. And since when did the U.S. government have a problem spending some money? So then they're like, oh, now it's private. So now it's, but they're not nowhere near as good because the government always does things so well. So, private, they still haven't had a manned space mission yet because that's really hard. 50 years ago it was easy. Now, not so much. Lost all that technology apparently, according to the one NASA scientist or astronaut. So, I could go on and on about it. It's all a joke. It's just funny. And people get really upset about it. That's how you know you're really brainwashed. If this really upsets you, like really upsets you, you're brainwashed. You won't believe me, because that'll make you even more angry now, because now I just said something else that you know is true. But look up, there's something called, what's it called? Something like Wag the Doggy, what to do with the moon landings. It's really good. Guy put together all this information in one spot. Wag the Moon Doggy or something. There's a lot of documentaries and stuff on it, or videos on it on YouTube and stuff. If you want to look it up, it's all a joke. So now we have Trump, who's another Mason. Just total, like people still haven't realized what's going on. It's all a show. Saying, oh, we're going to Mars. And you see actually Buzz Aldrin in the background going, he can't even control his facial features anymore, because he's been lying for so many decades. It's really hard. You've got to feel bad for him, you know. Like, that's a long time to just be living a lie. Yeah, but he drinks, you know, a lot to get through it, and I understand that. Yeah, some people actually believe in Mars and Elon Musk, and yeah, nice story, brah. Obviously never looked into the moon landing. The funny thing about the moon landing thing is, when I first started saying this stuff like 5 or 10 years ago, hardly anyone, almost everyone thought I was crazy. Like, they would get mad at me. They say, that's not, it's too far this time, Jeff. It's like, I'm like, look at the information. Like, this is just factual evidence. It's just not possible they went to the moon. And it's funny now, because a lot of people actually agree with me now. This is happening all over the place. Sort of this lifting of the veil thing going on, this age of Aquarius, this conscious awakening, the internet, whatever it is. So a lot of people agree. So I get this a lot now. People go, yeah, okay, they obviously faked the moon landing videos, because, you know, you can't have two shadows going different directions. You can't have the flag waving in the wind. You know, there's just like so many things that you can just look up so easy. So a lot of people will say that to me now. They go, yeah, it's clear they obviously faked the videos, and then they'll go, but they went. It's like, why would they fake the videos but still go anyway? Oh, and just, what? Like, no, they just didn't go, man. They didn't go. Think about it. Just use your brain. I know it's hard. The fluoride, the chemtrails, the vaccinations with all the mercury, the government, you know, your entire life in a government indoctrination camp. I know it's like hard to like think. But just try to think, just try to use your head for a few seconds. Think about it. They didn't go, man. Not a fucking chance. Yeah. Muy bien, perros. Muy bien, Bruce. Muy bien, Rango. Muy bien, Lara. Muy bien, Jerry. Muy bien, Lucy. Muy bien. Muy bien. Muy bien, Lucy. Vamos.